Yes, thank you so much, Adam. And what a great start to the day. You see Space Soldiers walking into the arena. They were super excited. I think this is going to be a great game, and I just hope Santaris is going to be ready for more madness.
You seemed very ready yesterday, and I get the feeling that having a crowd backing up as well is not going to dampen that kind of will to put on a show for his fans right now. And the same thing goes for the rest of the players. It was just through and through a really solid showing from Space Soldiers yesterday with the W that they picked up versus NIP. Obviously ran into a bit of a harder time versus Astralis, but that's fair. We'll give them a pass. Everyone kind of runs into a bit of a tougher spot in that scenario. But yeah, I'm really excited for this game. I think Space Soldiers has a very legitimate chance of actually doing this.
We'll find out right about now. It's going to be MiBR starting on the T side, Space Soldiers on the CT side. They've already boosted Calyx up into B bomb side, and Paz is going to be jumping for it, making sure he checks, and they're all going to be coming. He sees every single one. Backup has to be really quick in this bomb side. Excellent headshot. Paz taking down one, but they've lost Santaris. Calyx still doing work, looking for another headshot. Doesn't have any more bullets left, and reload doesn't get there in time. Now it's Paz by the bench. He's actually Engine going to pick up that second kill. 2 on 3. No bomb plant. It's down on the ground as well. Tarek and Cold Zero, they don't know how to get out from this. They need another fight, and as they're waiting, Major is sneaking up behind them. That's going to be a really big problem 5 seconds from now. See, he's got the lineup, he's got the angle, he's going to get shot down. Great shot here. Tarek taking down Major and putting it back into a 2-on-2. There's Paz, and now it's a 1-on-2 for Tarek. Again, in front of his countrymen, he's not going to be able to make that one work. Paz will take him down. Triple kill for him in the round, and Space Soldiers pick up the pistol.
Much important round for Space Soldiers right there, and you can see how nicely Paz plays that out. Obviously, he gets all the information initially, finds an early frag, and he's able to stay alive around that bench area for such a long time. You can see Calyx becomes the main focus of the entire MiBR team as well. That's exactly what you need if you're Space Soldiers, and it's really cool to see Paz as well, just showcasing his skill early on. Normally, when you talk about Space Soldiers, a lot of focus is on Santaris, or if it's not on Santaris, it's on Calyx. And for good reason, exceptional individual players, but Paz is the kind of guy who can come up with 30 frags at any given time.
So, not winning a pistol round MiBR. They're not big fans of doing that.
No, apparently they like it. You know, they like to play the game on hard mode.
Yeah, and almost arm casting that game as well. So you know there's like an additional challenge going on, which is unfortunate. I am sorry for bringing that curse. I don't know how I've done it.
They managed to scrape in a tie yesterday, though.
Yeah.
I guess if obviously if they were overtimes at Blast, they probably would have lost that eventually. But you know, it's a start. It's a step in the right direction.
It definitely is. We'll see what happens now. Engine is kind of low on health, and Cold Zero's on top of him with a Deagle. Could be a nice shot for going to be taking down Santaris. And in return from Paz, you could see Engine just waiting. He doesn't really want to be the guy to engage this whole thing. He's going to push out anyway. A bit of a risk taken, but probably worth it as he does get the kill. Still a 2-on-3 here. Slightly favoring Space Soldiers. Tarek will get 1 kill, but it's not going to be quite enough. They do a fair bit of damage in that round. Almost taking down Major as well.
Yeah, no, they really do. Again, Space Soldiers obviously looking to survive with 3 players or more. Not able to do so. You know, obviously, for being able to get that immediate, pretty much execution of Santaris the second he tries to wrap around, that's helpful. And Engine is kind of in a situation where he's forced to do either one of 2 things. Either move up ladder to see if he can pressure the guy on balcony, or actually push out to deal with the players moving up from ramp. And at that point, you're kind of locked into your position. Not a whole lot you can do unless Major hits a couple of crazy shots with the scout. But you know, they still get around or get away with it with a round, and Santaris is going to follow up this one. No investment on the side of MiBR, and likely no bomb plant either. So as shaky as that second round was, this is more to their liking.
Yeah, that does recover a little bit some of the money that they lost in the previous round. And the fact that MiBR had no bomb plants in the first 3 rounds means they're missing out on $800 on everybody on the team for each of those rounds. Yeah. It does kind of stack up in the long run. Now, they're going to have rifles here. It's the 4th round instead of the 3rd round, which if they'd had the bomb plant in the pistol round, at least they would have had that. But you can kind of tell that, that both teams are just edging into that full buy zone where they can have everything they want, even at AWP on Major. But some of them have kept on to the SMGs and that FAMAS there on the Space Soldiers side. So could be struggling if they retake with that MP9 on Calyx. That could be a problem. Yeah,
no, you can see that Calyx is actually taking precautions to this as well. He's playing aggressively towards A with that MP9, but that is a bit of an issue if they were to go towards that A bomb site instead. It's going to be Major actually pushing aggressively on Catwalk. It's going to get caught out. It's 2 very quick frags for MiBR. And no response either. This is going to be a really tough situation. Nice attempt at a pop flash into connector. Not going to find anyone. Oh, does he spot the elbow? Well, now he knows.
Yeah, it's very hard to dig. I mean, you have to walk quite far into connector to try and take that fight. And
yeah,
for good reason, Paz is not really feeling it. If he goes to check this, though, Stewie's got the perfect position. This is great. What a great round from MiBR so far. They're loving every part of this. Engine and Calyx 2 versus 5, and yeah, they're going to be picking up the bomb over on that side. They're actually going to be crunching towards where they are, so Calyx, if he does a really good job, if he'd hit that second shot on Cold Zero, would have been enough maybe to make it a 2-on-3, but still, Engine creeping in. Timing is really good, and now the bomb making his way across. Unfortunately, he was swapping for weapons, and he's going to get
really
taken
good
down.
initially, right?
It was. He used all of the timing
yeah.
to get through that. 3-1, and MiBR pick up their first rifle round, so that's incredible news.
Yeah, it becomes really difficult for Space Soldiers to do anything when they lose two players almost simultaneously. It's really hard to figure out where you're actually going to apply pressure on MiBR at that point, how you're going to go about it. They have a good idea with getting the pop flash in towards connector. The fact that I think what Spur was far up there is just one smidge back than what I guess you'd oftentimes see players from the T side in connector B. That doesn't allow for Space Soldiers to get a quick answer.
This is kind of clever as well. MiBR probably gambling on the idea that Space Soldiers aren't going to have too many grenades to stop a potential B rush, and they're not wrong about that either. I mean, Calyx has got a Molotov, but can he put it down in time? Not really. He's going to fight with the M4 instead. Lands a second headshot. Great defense. Oh my God, this is going to be taking down Cold Zero. This is a completely crushing crossfire that they put up here at the B-bomb site, and it's working out beautifully. Tarek and Fallen just stuck up there, trying to see if they can make any way through, but it's not going to happen. They're all going to go down. Centaurus with the last 2 kills. That initial defense, way better than I thought it would be. Yeah,
Calyx actually just stopping the entire push. Even though you could see he shot at all 5 players on MiBR's side. Only ended up with 1 kill, but did a ton of damage and also kept people stuck in their positions. So that meant for the players rotating in past from Catwalk, Centaurus through Kitchen, they had such an easy time of actually picking up those remaining frags. A really, really good job. You can see the first frag, that just sets a halt to the entire push once the second guy gets dinked. That's exactly what you want out of them. And it's kind of funny when you think about it as well, because oftentimes you'd see a lot of the top teams, they'll not necessarily put their heavy hitters over towards that B-bomb side. You'll potentially see an in-game leader play that area, because it's not too commonly used once you get into buy rounds and the later stages of the rounds. But in this scenario, Space Soldiers have Calyx and Paz on the same bomb site. That's a lot of firepower to go around.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see the problem as well now for MiBR. That last round, Major had a C-set 75. They were actually sort of out of the full buy. So now, MiBR, you can see they have really nothing to buy with at all. So they get that 1 round in, their round loss bonus is reset, so they're back to 1,400 after winning that 1 round, and then they're back to losing again. So this is not good news at all right now for the T side. We'll see if they can pick it up later on. They're playing on the T side as well, so we could give them a little bit of slack here early on, but they need to get up to like those 5, 6, 7 rounds. That's when things feel a little bit better when you're playing T side.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of the times when you have, I guess, newer teams or not that experienced teams, which would be Space Soldiers in this kind of a scenario, you would expect them to falter kind of on their aggressive sides. But ever since Major came into this lineup, they've been so much better just across the board on all maps in terms of putting complete matches together. So MiBR, they need to get the ball rolling pretty soon. But right now, Space Soldiers doing a good job of keeping things going their way. Nice transfer there from Xantares. Doesn't fight the third, but Engine is there in due time. And Fur, once again, sneaking around in the back here. Going to find 1 player, but likely to him getting a bomb plant out here is not very likely. Calyx is, well, dodges death. Fur, what do you do now? 15 bullets to his name. So he has to be a little bit careful about how he spends those. As you can see on the radar as well, that bomb is dropped as in the middle of that A-bomb site as you could have possibly gotten it.
Yeah, I mean, for him to get a kill and get the bomb plant down, that's a very, very far stretch, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's still a lot to accomplish, right? I mean, if he could get 1 more kill, that's going to hurt the Space Soldiers economy a lot. And he knows it as well, so that's why he's being careful about this. Doesn't just want to throw the round away either, but looks like the timing isn't really working out for him. Calyx going to shut him down 5-1 in favor of Space Soldiers. You have to imagine the Turkish crowd here in Istanbul. They're loving it right now.
Oh, absolutely. And it was really cool to see as well. Again, we didn't see the best iteration of Space Soldiers playing at the Major. Obviously, they had visa issues. Engine couldn't go. Had to play with hardstyle instead. And I'm actually convinced that Space Soldiers with a full lineup at that major probably would have made playoffs.
Yeah,
they're that good of a
too.
team. So it's really fun to see them. They would have had extra time to kind of hone in everything, get prepared for, obviously, you know, this is probably the biggest event of the year for them. It's the first big ESCS event in Turkey. I mean, obviously they want to put their best foot forward.
They're doing a pretty good job right now, giving us a real show. 7th round and setting up outside of the A bomb site, at least initially, although the bomb is back in T spawn, so right now it's just a little bit for show. Some grenades over the wall does force an immediate counter from the Space Soldier side, which is not bad. I mean, you can get the CTs to use their grenades early on. You're kind of happy about that.
I was about to say, though, like that is the initial intent of MiBR, but Space Soldiers only really use 2 Molotovs.
Yeah.
They've already got forward position as well, so for what MiBR probably were hoping to get out of that, they didn't really get too much in return on investment. I wouldn't be surprised if we see MiBR now go back to, again, a standard A take, possibly, you know, a split through mid, considering the bomb is on the back of one of the players and mid, but Space Soldiers are well equipped to deal with this.
Oh, wow, the timing is incredible, but Tarek is there to follow it up. He actually gets the team kill, but it doesn't really matter. Still 2 for 1 in that trade. Tarek, very good, just making sure that he could counter that initial push. If they got taken down, that would have been disastrous. Now instead, look at this, they're sneaking in. They're going to get caught by Major. That's actually an incredibly important kill. Calyx not quick enough to get that. One's very hard with the gap shot, long range, almost gets taken down. coldzera and Tarek both very low on health, but the bomb will be planted here. And 2-1-3 for the retake. MiBR should be their round, especially with that smoke going up. Counter Molotov here, see what Calyx can do to set it up, but it's just so hard to retake this from the position they're in. Need to work some kind of miracle. Centara spraying early, but the counter flashbang comes out, and coldzera's going to clean it up. Great double for him. MiBR finding a 2nd round. Very
important round, and yeah, as you said, that one aggressive move down towards A ramp really just is the big decider of the round. Tarek picking up 3, well, two frags on the right team, and then obviously it gets Fallen to go with it. But that really is the big decider. Obviously creates a massive rotation from Space Soldiers over towards that A bomb site for good reason. Calyx not able to get conversion on the one player he spots over towards Catwalk as well. It's cool to see, though. All the Turkish players are getting into it.
They really are. 3-round gap. They are back on pistols, though, on the Space Soldiers side. So from MiBR's point of view, even if they were struggling a little bit, it means now they can probably get an easier round out of it. They can bounce really far back into this game. This is not bad at all.
Yeah. Somewhat surprising to see Space Soldiers not opt in for a couple upgraded pistols more so. They do have the money on their side to do it, but that's, you know, them thinking long term in that sense. And I can always get on board with that, actually.
Yeah, it's a difference of philosophy, right? There are teams that will try and do that and give themselves a bit of an extra chance.
Yeah, if one guy, even if one guy can afford an AK like this, they're thinking to themselves like, let's go.
Let's just feel it. But if you do it on the CT side, I mean, if you wanted to go for a double up later, and I'm not necessarily sure they want to, but if they wanted to, then, you know, doing all those sort of, you know, half buys or just, you know, upgrading some pistols, long term, that could put you out of the range of doing that.
Oh yeah, and especially if that, you know, eventual double up doesn't actually pan out immediately, then you've kind of thrown away, you know, 4 to 5 rounds of the half already. Centara is so close to actually getting coldzera there. Instead, it's going to be 3 successive frags for MiBR, and well, Calyx, he doesn't have a whole lot to do in this round. Maybe he can fight coldzera if he decides to stray off, only on 2 HP. But Calyx decides to rotate off. Doesn't have too much to lose in this round. Obviously, could go aggressive, see if he can find an AK on one of the well, there we have it. Burt aggressively pushing on Catwalk. If he can find an AK here, that's obviously a big get for him.
It's incredible movement from Calyx. I mean, he was dodging that angle forever and ever. Now he goes back to fight it again. And not going to be coming out on top this time. Still, those USPs doing a little bit of damage. Almost coldzera went down. He's going to put it as 5-3, still favoring Space Soldiers. 1 AWP and a UMP. So, you know, not a bad buy at all from Space Soldiers.
Calyx opting to go for the UMP because he wants utility as well. And a defuse kit. No. Thinking about the team there. He's actually the only player to pick up a defuse kit as well. And I guess you could have rummaged around a little bit and done it differently.
Yeah.
One kid spread the wealth in that sense, but I guess Calyx, he does play. Actually, no, Calyx has been playing towards that B bomb side. He's been playing B-App, so I would actually probably prefer him having a weapon where he can actually take some duels from range. UMP, it kind of limits your angles and whatnot, and also the defuse kit is going to be very far removed from anything at all if something goes down towards that A bomb site. But
it does add to the excitement. Like whenever there's only one person on the team that has a kit, you always know there's a chance that they could get lost somewhere. You know, inadequate, and then
I mean, you see so many defaults, right? Where MiBR could have one player, let's say Fur, go towards B apps. If he finds an early pick towards B, if that's Calyx going down, it's not necessarily that, or necessarily it's something that Space Soldiers think about, like, oh, we need to retrieve that kid immediately for what can happen later on, you know?
Major.
Does he actually spot the foot there?
I think, well, from our point of view, it looked like you could see it. It's not always
100% accurate.
Yeah, because they play with different graphic settings in the game, right? So sometimes the players will have a slightly different view than we do here on the observer feed. Engine and Centeris right now holding the A bomb site.
And MiBR going back to what was so successful for them versus NIP in their comeback really on Mirage, and that was just dead on A takes. Not really too concerned about getting mid control, not concerned about getting map control in general, but setting up for these executes, and it worked time and time again. Obviously, it did come down to a lot of close rounds. So the trade game needs to be on point here for Space Soldiers if they're going to have a shot at this.
They've called in Major as well, so he's CT spawn with the AWP, or they're going to follow us on that box. Major's actually just moved in there. This could be a disaster, though so far Engine is kind of holding them. You see Major has to fall out of the fire. coldzera lurking around in the middle, and he just has to hold down Mouse 1. He can't do anything. Engine flashed for the whole duration. Major going to put up one grenade. Centeris has to come big in this. He keeps spraying, gets a great kill. Major with one little grenade. And jumping through the window, coldzera, is he going to be there in time? It's almost a little bit of damage. He actually almost took down Paz. That could have worked out. The bomb is dropped, though, with 25 seconds here. And it's a 2-on-1. Paz just alone with 4 health, 20 seconds. And they know where he is. He's completely locked in, walking right back into coldzera and MiBR. That was a hard round for them to win. That could have gone very badly, but they found a way through, and they did it, as you said, just like with an IP, very sort of slow, suffocating push on that A bomb site. Yeah, and again, like the trade game is pretty good from Space Soldiers there as well. I think there's one little bit of a mistake, slight hesitation from Calyx and Spawn there, because Major's obviously caught in a really rough position. He has to have 2 targets to focus on, one coming out of apps, and obviously Stewie pushing up close towards the staircase, towards CT spawn. And at that point, Calyx needs to jump on Stewie while he's still focused on getting Major down. I think if they get that trade to work for them, then Paz can play more passively. He doesn't need to, you know, leave focus on coldzera, who's already been spotted out in mid and window. So that would have given them a slightly better chance, but still not the end of the world. Back to Nico though. Sees that on Engine. This is a really great comeback from MiBR early on in the half as well. That gives them a lot of space to work with, and if that A push is going to sort of keep working, then see if Space Soldiers can come up with an answer, because certainly NIP looked like they were really struggling to find a way to stop that from happening.
We saw a bit of a difference in CT setups from Space Soldiers as well compared to NIP. NIP were you know, very keen to actually fight over middle, had Dennis pushing aggressively at times, you know, with the help of Forrest and Rez. And Space Soldiers seem okay with giving up mid control. They seem to have, you know, parameters set for what they want to do when they don't give it up. Centeris. We've seen those flicks work before.
Good use of the Molotovs there to clear out some of the most likely corners for somebody to be in. And again, fighting with pistols versus rifles, that's definitely a tricky situation. When you also don't have armor, it means everything does more damage. You get aim punched. It's just no fun at all.
It's the nightmare of every Counter-Strike player.
Yeah, you'd really hate to see it. AWP in Fallen's hands, none on the Space Soldiers side. Yeah, see how it works out.
I think Space Soldiers are the kind of team that can play pretty efficiently without an AWP in their hands as well. They've been swapping around a little bit. Engine obviously used to be the AWPer as well, you know, with Despot when they had a 6-man lineup in and out. Then Major started picking up more and more once they, I guess, trimmed down to a 5-man lineup. But definitely capable riflers all across the board. No desperate need for an AWPer to really set the pace for them. But MiBR, speaking of setting the pace, we talked about how they, you know, would very much like to get to maybe 5-6 rounds on that T side. They're definitely on track and on schedule. again, no real contest over mid here from Space Soldiers.
Well, I mean, the desk was talking a little bit about that, right? Do you sort of need to fight for mid, or can you just hold it for later in the round? It seems like Space Soldiers is saying, yeah, you know, you can have it early on, but maybe we'll go back and just check the window every once in a while and see what's going on.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, where we've seen most of the MiBR success, it isn't necessarily through the mid control that they've gained. It's the straight up setups or, you know, executes that they've had towards A initially. Now they're going to seemingly attempt for one towards B, but yeah, mid control is not really the focal point for them.
The timing is great against Calyx. Paz doing his best at a good follow-up. It is almost taking down the triple, buying a little bit of time there for his teammate to stay alive. It's not going to be for long. Coldzera with a great headshot. Now they're down on the side, 3-on-3 with Fur looking through middle, Major coming back. So we've got sort of a double lurk situation. Santaris hitting one good headshot, and that's going to be the end of Coldzera 2. And if he needed that bomb plant to go through, he needed to be late in this fight. Now he's fighting a 1-on-3 instead, and he's going to lose it to Engine. 6 rounds on the board for Space Soldiers. Absolutely big news for them. Right now it's Engine at 10, Paz at 9, and Santaris at 8. They're pretty much all nicely grouped up at the moment.
Yeah, doing very well for themselves. And again, that B defense on Space Soldiers, very, very solid. You can see Calyx getting enough information in a timely fashion as well, is able to get out the dodge. Even though the Molotov isn't necessarily perfectly placed or perfectly timed, it gives enough time for MiBR to be mainly focused on him. Paz has the opportunity to find a multi-kill. That's really all you can ask for. At that point, you've done your part as a B defender. They also stay long enough alive to have Centaurus and everyone else rotate around in.
Setting up for a much quicker A execute. Last time we were talking about sort of the slow pace of it. This time, they're pretty early in the round. Coldzera is quite far away on the other side, but they're going to explode through that smoke on the ramp, coming right into the A bomb site. Major starting the fight, but he's going to get shut down. Excellent headshot from Fur, canceling out that aggression. And Stewie, he just couldn't get away. Spray through the smoke, and Santaris going to pick up that kill. Great return, but what a flick. Fur not even hesitating on that one. The bullet accuracy is, the first bullet accuracy there, out of control for him. And now Tarek edging his way in, wants to see if anyone is going to try. The bomb is going back, and Coldzera's in B. Yeah. This is amazing.
This is, yeah, in a way, MiBR have managed to take both bomb sites in this round, which is not something you see a whole lot of. But considering how long of a time it's actually taking for the bomb to go down, Space Soldiers might get wise to this, but then again, they do have to...
Look at where Cold is.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like, how can you assume that Coldzera is going to be in this forward of a position at any given point? But Paz actually could be the key here. If he finds the right timing towards Catwalk, as soon as Fallen walks in towards the side, that could be it. That does find Fur.
News.
Yeah, misses out on Fallen, though. It's going to be the bomb plant for MiBR. Do they even know where to go at this point? Yeah, now they have to realize.
Yeah, but Tarek might shoot them in the back. I mean, Engine might go down rotating out of A. This is so confusing. There's Coldzera shutting down Calyx. I mean, Space Soldiers, they just have no idea what's going on. This round is an absolute circus. Paz is still putting on the kills, and it's a 2-on-2. Tarek rushing in behind Engine, trying to catch him, and Engine sees it coming. He's going to take down Tarek. They've done all the work right here. Coldzera's going to be going down. How can they possibly win that round? They had, as you said, both bomb sites. Space Soldiers were locked in, and there were traps waiting for them in every corner.
Yeah, and it actually looked like perfect for them, you know, having Tarek so delayed as well. The fact that I'm not sure if he actually started running or if it was just, you know, sixth sense coming out from Engine, but to actually turn around worked for the rotation because Tarek had been so patient about pushing out. He could have, as you said, he could have picked off Engine so much earlier as he rotated off that A bomb site, but he held it to the point where if you're Engine, I'm super surprised that you actually even consider that as a possibility. They make it work. Much needed round as well, and well, the economy on the side of MiBR now as well is starting to look shaky. We get a buy-in here. That's a nice opening from Stewie. But this is very much a do or die round for MiBR in this half.
Yeah, definitely is. They're gonna, well, both teams, I guess, are gonna be out of money if they lose this one. So a lot could swing. It could be MiBR almost getting back up to 7 rounds. That would make it a great first half. It's already heading in that direction.
It really is. And Calyx this time changing up his position. I'm curious if these jumps are gonna be filtered out by Fur. Doesn't seem like he's putting any notice to it. But again, having Calyx in this kind of a forward position as well does allow them to potentially gamble a bit, stack over towards A more heavily. For now, though, seem to be holding pretty tight. I do like the position from Engine as well, inside here on balcony. pretty tucked away. Doesn't have to immediately fear anyone coming up from A ramp.
Yeah, but if they're coming out of connector though, like 3 of them, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble, isn't he?
Oh,
that's a good shot. Fur, and the rest of them coming up through Engine, getting shot down. It's an angle that he just wasn't covering. And I mean, he shouldn't have been covering either. That's supposed to be somebody else's job in that defense. So this is from a great retake and a great recovery in the last round. This one just crumbles completely. No defense at all in the middle. Yeah. And I mean, we talked about how you don't have to hold the middle, but if you let go of connector like they did in that round, that A bomb side is so exposed. Normally you need somebody who's looking out for it, right? Yeah. Either in jungle or in CT spawn, somebody who's looking that direction.
That's why I somewhat expected when they went down, obviously, in a 4v5 that early on, that with Calyx in an aggressive position towards B, you could have him, you could have, or at least, you know, defend the prospect of having him as a sole defender towards B, have pass, rotate over towards mid, maybe have Major take over connector to spot that out. And again, put Engine in not that of a difficult situation, because the second Major goes down by peeking mid window. Engine has to worry about 3 different angles that he's not going to be able to either have cover for or actually aim towards at the same time. That's an impossible task. Nonetheless, though, they do manage to hold on to 2 weapons. So, highly doubt we're going to see too much of an investment coming in from them as of right now. But there has been a timeout, so wouldn't be surprised if this is Space Soldiers talking things through in that sense, figuring out if they want to invest into it, if they don't.
I say go for it.
Really?
Yeah, go.
1,600 on Engine, 1,400 on Santaris. That's not even going to get you a ZZ helmet, you know, Kevlar and helmet.
Get some utility and rush top mid. Like, get both the M4s in there, take that fight early on.
All right. Well, they're believers. Seemingly.
Yeah, go for that 9-6. I feel like it's worth it. I know it's a big risk, but let's see how they play this one. It looks like they're putting 3 in window. Haz is going to be jumping down, so yeah, a little bit of mid-aggression coming out of the Space Soldier side. Molotov to force it out. Cold Zero running right in. Did they see him? There were a lot of people, actually 4 people in middle right now for the CT side. But did they catch Cold Zero? I'm not sure, and if they haven't seen him, he's got an incredible angle. Now they're going to see that smoke, so they should know by now that something is going on that side. Paz going to go for the peek, but MiBR, no, they're so aware of this, what's happening here. That's a great counter for them. Fur and Cold Zero shutting down 2 of those, and that's the M4's gone.
That's the M4's gone, and yeah, that was looking first so terrifying. Obviously, nobody spotted out Cold Zero initially. Then they get the idea, seeing the smoke coming over the boxes, but not able to capitalize on it. Stewie down to 1 HP, and again, if you can get a 2-for-1 trade, or a 1-for-2 trade, if you're Space Soldiers in that scenario, obviously not optimal, but it's something you can work with. Right now, they're just so stretched for weaponry, for positioning and whatnot. Hard to see how they're going to come back into this. Centaurs might get the drop on Tarek, though. Or the other way around.
Yeah, that was just a question of pure timing, and works out with Tarek. Pre-fire there from Engine. It's not going to be enough. And he's celebrating a little bit, you could tell. Shots going off.
Yeah.
Majors on the other side of the map. So it'll be an easy round from MiBR from here on out. This is all... Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to... I really enjoy, obviously, the top mid push. I feel like they should have kept going. Like, you know, they had
right off the bat, or...
Yeah, like, or just, you can wait a little bit, but then flash it way up there, you know? Yeah. Once that smoke is up in front, just say, okay...
Because that's one thing you mentioned, right? The fact that at a point there were 4 players from Space Soldiers towards middle, and then they half-heartedly followed through on it with only having the 2 remaining players with M4s sticking around. And considering, you know, how long of an extended, you know, battle that ended up being, how long it took for anyone to actually go down, having that extra player or 2 could have been a world of difference for Space Soldiers. Could have meant that they actually get the favorable trade.
It's just when you commit to trying to take the mid early on in the round, the longer you stay there, the more you risk someone coming out of underpass, right? You end up having a second angle. If you stay there for like more than 10 seconds, it becomes a problem. So I kind of wish that they would have like either fallen back,
committal, or either fall back.
Exactly, like one or the other. This sort of halfway thing is, I mean, it was really great from MiBR. It's a good read for them as well, just to realize what's happening. So 7-7.
Yeah, I mean, MiBR are fighting back here. Normally, you know, you praise people for taking the middle road, or you know, the golden middle road and whatnot. In CS, that's not always the best way of going about things.
More sort of an all or nothing kind of a game.
Yeah.
At least it sometimes turns out that way.
So, well, UMP's on the side of Space Soldiers. They do have a scout on Engine as well. I mean, you get a couple of tags in here, or yeah, get into close angles. It could really be beneficial. Nice there. Starting things off from Pass. He's able to remove Fur.
It's not bad at all. Major making a bit of noise, but Tarek is quite far away. He won the battle last time here in T-Spawn. This time again, it's a question of timing. Is he going to stand up at the right spot? He will indeed, and win it immediately. Great headshot from Tarek, taking down Major, and now it's looking a lot better here. This is, I mean, 7 rounds for MiBR with losing the pistols. That's the big asterisk that we have to sort of put on that. It's very, very important that they finally win a pistol round in the next round, I feel like, or the next half, because even though 7 or 8 rounds is really good, I feel like they need to prove to themselves that they can start to pick up some of those pistol rounds.
Yeah, and MiBR have been doing a good job of winning these scrappy rounds as well. Outside of the B pushes, everything they've tried to do towards mid or towards A, it's been pretty successful, even if they've had to go through a couple of slugfests where, you know, they run into a pretty solid defense, but they're snappy with it. But speaking of being snappy, that's Scout coming into play. Equalizes things, and they still have Calyx. Yeah, finally they did, you know, what we saw them have the potential to do earlier on. Calyx alone is a B defender here, and nobody.
He's so fired up, but actually Fallen lives for just a second longer and takes down Santaris, and they're going to catch him with a grenade. Calyx down and out. And now Engine 1 versus 2 with the Scout. I don't really envy him this position. How on earth do you retake this one? He's not going to be able to. Cold will take him down. 8-7 in favor of MiBR at the end of the half. That's such an incredible result. Again, keeping in mind they lost the pistol round. 8 rounds is terrific.
Oh, no, it absolutely is. And we're seeing coldzera really getting into his own. But an excellent first half there. 6 stim frags to his name.
Yeah, really an amazing job.
The problem for MiBR now is, though, that they're not able to win pistol rounds. So the pistol round from Space Soldiers, follow it up with solid anti-eco, as we're looking at double figures for them. And again, it's always going to be an uphill battle for Space Soldiers, not for MiBR if they keep doing this. We'll see how it pans out, though. Second half gets going underway, and immediately no attempt at any sort of map control from Space Soldiers. They don't want to try to figure out what's going on. They're just busting right into this A bomb site where there's 3 MiBR players.
Oh god, this is going to be incredibly quick. Oh, Stewie, 1 good headshot. That's going to stop the bomb from going down. And now sneaking up from behind this far, he's in the bomb site, taking down Engine. This is a great cancellation on that bomb plant. And now they're in trouble. 4 on 3. And they needed that bomb plant. That would have put so much pressure on MiBR. Now instead, who is going to have the job of walking back in to try and put that bomb down? Whoever has got that task, I mean, they're going to be so exposed throughout pretty much all of it. And they must be scratching their heads. Like, they jumped to see the bomb, so that's even better. Fallen calling it out. A lot of information from just 1 jump there. He knows they have to go back and pick it up. Stewie holding 1 angle, great headshot. Centara's down and out. MiBR might be on their way to finally win a pistol round, and that would be very helpful at this point in time. Major, can he possibly bring his team back? Calyx has been holding middle for a while. MiBR, they don't really need to force this, although it looks like they want to. Just going to be pushing in and overwhelming them. So many people on the other side. Stewie closing it out. Triple for him at the pistol, and MiBR. This has to be good news, right?
Finally starting off a half in a positive way for MiBR, but yeah, I think it was Stewie who got the first opening there. Pretty much forces the Space Soldiers player with the bomb plant, its Engine there. You can see he has to cancel it because the likelihood of Stewie being able to push up further if he hears the bomb going down, that could get canceled out. That's obviously much worse for Space Soldiers. So he has to take a calculated risk in that sense and hope that Stewie's going to push aggressively and run into his waiting arms. But if that doesn't happen, Stewie plays that smart. It's it's just an uphill struggle from start to finish. This time, though, we're seeing a little bit of an investment from Space Soldiers. No armor, but pistols upgraded.
Some deagles in play. Always love those one-shot headshots. Calyx giving us one of them right there. Fallen picking up a kill and quickly readjusting. Wants to continue the fight. He was probably expecting that they were going to rush him too, but 4 on 3. They've stolen an MP9. Not sure if it's the best weapon in the world for this fight on the A-bomb site, but...
No, I'd probably stick with the deagle here.
Yeah.
See, though, seems like Space Soldiers are kind of assuming that there's going to be aggressive rotations around from MiBR as well. You can see Calyx posted up towards B right now. Just waiting for someone to rotate through either B apps or mid. But nobody's really going to entice him with that idea. Tarek posted up aggressively, but nothing crazy so far. And I like this from MiBR. You know, not taking unnecessary risks, playing this as safe as possible. They want to keep as many players alive, obviously, going into the next couple of rounds, so they feel secure. Maybe even if they lose the first buy round, they'll be able to rebuy, potentially reset Space Soldiers.
That would be how MiBR paved their way to winning this map. It's just by never having a broken economy, then they're almost certain it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Space Soldiers, they know it as well. Stewie doing a good job here, shutting down a couple of players with the FAMAS. And now Calyx, 10 seconds, needs to find a way to die pretty quickly right here so he can at least get the round loss bonus. Not really worth saving anything else. 4 seconds, oh god, he's going to go and hide in the corner. They must have heard him running as well. This might be a big deal. He's going to be hunted down, and he's going to go down after the time has run out. So this is sort of an edge scenario. It doesn't happen all the time, but if you die after the clock has run out on the T side, you don't get the round loss bonus, and because he loses the MP9 and the Deagle, he doesn't even have that. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. It definitely is, and that can have such a big impact going into the first buy round as well. We might see Calyx having to stay on pistol or something like that, or maybe a UMP, which is obviously not what you want to go into a buy round with if you had the option of getting an AK instead. Especially for a player like Calyx as well, who has exceptional aim. I mean, it's all well and good to have exceptional aim, but you know, if the game doesn't allow you to do more damage because you have a UMP, then you know, you're kind of stuck. Speaking of being stuck, Stewie gets caught out as he moves towards underpass, but coldzera able to make that work on long distance, even with an MP9.
Yeah, he got dinked, but it was with a Glock, so it just didn't really do that much. So fair play.
At all.
11-7.
I like this as well. Like you can see it right before. Here's the replay though. So nice and controlled as well.
Yeah.
Not wasting any bullets. Thinking about the environment. You could also see right before that replay that Fallen actually dropped off the AWP for coldzera. So Cold is probably going to go for an early peek here in mid. Actually go a little bit aggressive as well. Ooh,
grenade collision. He actually wanted to jump onto the railing. Still first going to be covering his back and taking down Major, but that could be could have been an awful start.
Yeah, and it's such an awkward position to be as an underpass with an AWP. You don't get many chances to miss your shots at that point.
No, you really don't. No cover. I mean, you can sort of walk into that little corner, but it's not exactly great, is it?
Yeah.
I guess maybe the upside is I don't think they know he's down here. So if they go peek top mid, could still be walking into a very weird angle, and he might be sliding back. Yeah, he's going to escape, so...
Bullet dodged.
Yeah, they need this, and coldzera going to be taking down Centaurus. That's a good shot. Now they're in a lot of trouble, Space Soldiers. They had a really good beginning to this game, but they need to break that MiBR economy in the second half, or they're not going to have a chance. And Tarek is wrapping in from behind. I mean, they're already locked in. They don't even know it yet. 3-on-5 pushing into the bomb site. MiBR has all the information that they possibly need or could possibly want here. Cold is going to take one more kill. We're going to close it out with a UMP. That's, by the way, 22 kills on coldzera. How good would it be if this was the tournament here in Istanbul where coldzera starts to make his revival and starts to actually come back into the game? Yeah. I want to see that back again, that level that we know he's got.
Absolutely, and I think actually for Space Soldiers right there, they struggled a little bit once they lose Major, because obviously they have something very quick-paced in mind. They want to get Major in towards that connector area as quickly as possible. If they struggle to actually figure out a plan B right off the get-go, if they have a certain plan as to what goes on if Major is not able to create sort of havoc or create any distractions for that MiBR players.
Maybe it's the Yanko effect. And
could be.
I like the idea of the Yanko effect. It sounds like something you'd find in a physics book, like, you know, the parallax or, you know, redshift or something. Like, you know.
Probably could be made into a movie. Yeah. Right? But we need to figure out what is the Yanko effect. Is it something devastating?
Do we have an equation for it, like a differential equation somewhere that we can write out?
I feel like we can work something out in the green room.
We'll get somebody on it. 12-7, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 20 starting now, and as you can tell, in that hut on the right-hand side, Major and the rest of the boys, they have very, very limited utility. A couple of smokes there, some upgraded pistols, armor on 2 people, but this is incredibly sketchy. To win a round like this would be almost a miracle at this point in the game, and if they don't, MiBR are just going to continue on. Stewie holding the angle, no problem whatsoever. A little bit of danger. Fallen just wants to go back. He actually gets the shot on Engine. Oh my god. But the bomb has gone down, so at least they can celebrate that for just a couple of seconds here before the rest of MiBR are going to storm in and retake the bomb site. They've stolen an M4 there on Paz, but can't really keep it alive. And Calyx, either the grenades, well, or the headshot from first. Something is going to get him.
Yeah, but then again, considering how things start for Space Soldiers there, they could be happy with the bomb plant. Even gets an additional prize and a kill onto Stewie as well. So not the end of the world in that sense. They're going to be able to buy up here, and we're actually going to see a T-side op coming out on Major. Major hasn't had the greatest of games so far. Maybe this is going to be what turns it around for him. Yeah, Stewie, like we talked about coldzera. Stewie's been doing pretty well for himself in this game as well. Had some crucial kills.
You see Fallen opening like that, I mean, it does give you some hope, doesn't it?
Yeah, but not if you're the opponent.
No.
It doesn't bode well if you're Space Soldiers at that point.
Crushing all of the hope, in fact. There's none left. Double up now to make things work worse for Space Soldiers.
And this is something we saw NIP can really find a good answer to as well in their matchup versus MiBR. We'll see if it can actually turn around. For now, though, pretty slow. Unlike what we saw out of MiBR, even though they're not necessarily immediately going for map control or taking mid, not setting up for straight up A execute either. This is a classic MiBR setup as well. You can see Fallen with the op at A ramp, and also Stewie close up into pit.
Yeah, so if you turn that corner down on the A ramp, you're either gonna lose a player to Fallen immediately, or at least you'll hear the shot from the AWP, and all the focus is gonna be on that. Yeah. And maybe for a second you forget about that corner, and Stewie's gonna be shooting you really quickly. coldzera is pretty far back in kitchen. I mean, this is, I guess this can work, but it's one of those positions you can smoke from outside of B.
Yeah.
And if you know, it can be kind of hard to hit the jump shot even then if some people are just running past. They're going to be coming through connector. In fact, sorry, not connector, but catwalk towards the B bomb side. Long range here. Oh my God, that's a great shot from Calyx. coldzera repositioning immediately to take him down. And he's going to stay on the bomb side. He's the only one here, and he just wants to buy time. Jumping to try and bait out the shot. This is great counter-strike. And coldzera is going to be going down. That's so heads up. That's Engine, by the way, making sure he doesn't go down. Just trying to bait out that shot with the AWP. Very smart play. Catching Fallen as Major comes in through the middle and taking him down. And this is looking so much better here. They don't really have to fight now. 2 on 4. Just wait until you're absolutely sure the round is won. Major catching another one in window. Stewie going down. This was a great execute from Space Soldiers. Really well done.
It's really an MVP of that round is Engine as well. You can see, like, even though he doesn't, like, coldzera doesn't bite, which is, you know, a skill in itself to remain that cool. But you can see that allows for Santaris to creep up close on Cold, and there's no way in hell he's going to win out that duel. That's just so well done. Obviously, you got to give credit to Calyx as well for winning out the duel versus Tarek. Initially, as they move in towards the catwalk. That's a very solid round for Space Soldiers. Nice to see Major as well get some kills towards the end of it. Not necessarily the biggest impact in total, but that's good for his confidence for sure. And here you can see, that's easiest kills Antares has had all day, and it's all thanks to Engine.
Yeah, it's just a good setup, right? There's a I would say a pretty good chance that Engine could have won that fight in a number of different ways.
Yeah.
But because he delays it, he's making sure that whatever happens, it will be traded immediately, right? Even if Cold gets one kill, they're definitely going to win it. So it's always better to go for the 100%.
Yeah. You also saw coldzera playing that pretty smart as well, considering you talked about how he could easily get smoked out from his kitchen position that he held initially, but the fact that he moves aggressively right off the bat, the second he sees or hears any sort of grenades coming in towards B, repositions because he knows it's a possibility. So that kitchen position primarily being used if there were to be like a slow play coming in from Space Soldiers. But just a lot of right decisions being made on both sides.
Going back to that same defensive setup here, MiBR on the A ramp that you talked about in the previous round. They wouldn't really found out, so there's no reason for them not to stick around and see if they can pull it off once again. A little bit of noise being made on that side, so MiBR might have a pretty good feeling right now saying, yeah, I think they're coming here.
I will say this, though. If you're playing against Fallen, you'd have to expect to run into this at one point during Mirage.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's been so successful for them. And I guess that's why they go back to it, right?
It could be the flashbangs right here. Fallen going to miss the first shot. Stewie there. For the refrag and a great follow-up. Fur taking down 2. And it's all going to be shut down. And this is an absolute disaster for Space Soldiers. That was the first round that they won here in the second half.
Yeah.
And to go back and immediately lose the round afterwards, again, the round loss bonus gone. All of the rifles gone. This is not a good sign whatsoever.
This is Elm Street.
Yes. Fallen taking the last kill, but that setup worked kind of like we explained it.
Yeah.
Stewie just able to pick up those 2 kills, and the fact that first shuts down the whole apartment side of it, the Palin side, is going to be great. 14-8.
Yeah, you see, like, it's so effective, and that's kind of the issue with it.
Wow.
The fact that people can know that MiBR likes doing this. This is the setup they've been known for since back in the days with the SK, but what do you really do for it? Yeah, you can throw flashes in close by, but it's hard to get both Sweep flash and Fallen flash with the same flash.
Yeah.
So, and you can't spend too much time because obviously they're going to reposition, they're going to have an opportunity to get out, drop Molotovs and whatnot. It's just a nightmare to deal with them. Fallen just ignore smoke completely.
No, it failed in window as well.
Yeah, but there's still one there.
There's one there. I mean, he must have seen a little bit, I guess. Like, so must have seen. I want to say that he saw someone jumping. Otherwise, it's just too outrageous. Gets taken down as well. Fallen having a bit of a round so far. Santaris 1 versus 4. He's got a lot of time. That's, I think, the most positive thing we can say right now.
Yeah, no, he does have the bomb at least within his grasp, but it seems like that's been spotted out by Fur now.
This is a spicy-looking MiBR team right now. 23 kills on Cold Sierra, 21 on Fur. They're looking incredibly dangerous. I mean, somebody's going to have to stand up to Astralis in this tournament.
MiBR might be the team.
Yeah, that would be a good pick right now. They're definitely looking much more solid. If they can make it all the way out of the round-robin stage here, they get to play them in a best-of-3. That'd be very, very interesting, and it's still possible for them to do that. So,
absolutely. I mean, we have to keep in mind as well, it's not all hope is out for Space Soldiers either.
No.
Obviously, they went on, I guess, the mandatory loss versus Astralis, as we've gotten used to.
Yeah, that's out of the way.
Yeah, but they also beat NIP, and considering the fact that MiBR tied NIP, if Space Soldiers win out the rest of their games,
yeah,
they still have a good fighting chance here, and I would definitely favor them going into matchups versus, obviously, both the Cloud9 and Virtus Pro. So.
Yeah. Definitely at this point, right?
Yeah, so a lot of excitement still around this.
Yeah, absolutely not over yet.
Let's see, though, what Space Soldiers can muster here. Maybe a little bit hopeful to call the comeback as of right now, but it's a solid start at least. The 1 AK on the side of the T's actually going to work.
Yeah, and the crowd is still with them. You could hear a little bit of cheering going on, swapping out the AK to a more healthy player in Paz. Oh, Cold Sierra just pushing in, even if he's blind. And he could have probably had at least 1 or 2 more kills in that one. They're very low on health at the moment. Tarek able to pick up that kill with the AWP and reposition for another one. Very hard for Major to guess. Oh, the scope though, he's jumping right into it. Major might have this kill. Indeed he will. The scope cheating Tarek out of a chance there. Flick not really connecting, but Stewie on the A-bomb side versus Engine. Yeah, there's another fight happening on this side. So just all over the map with about 40 seconds left.
Oh, they're cat and mouse there. Stewie actually goes back for a second look, but Engine doesn't commit. Wow. They still have the time to play around with here if Engine wants to push around the entire site.
Stewie now in CT spawn, Fallen hiding in that corner. I mean, this is very odd. Major's calling it in, saying, I have the bomb, pretty close to the B-bomb site, and they can't really change their minds now. Smoke not going to be enough. Fallen will drop the bomb with 13 seconds, and what a flick! Taking down Santaris, and that should be all over. Fallen to close it out, 16-8 with a triple kill of that AWP. Definitely looked like he's refining that, or rediscovering